welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wellness.
Well, we welcome you to the final segment of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show for 7 years. That's right, 7 years right here on AM 1220 KHTS and now 98.1 FM KHTS. That's right, nice. Sharing with what you need to know, want to know, should know about real estate, finance, and your community. And we love doing that right here from our custom-built studio, the Skyline Home Loans. And Skyline Home Loans has been crushing it. That's right. Our company keeps growing because of you. We thank you for giving us the opportunity to help you with the dream of home ownership, refinancing, pulling cash out. And is your equity line increasing? I bet it is, because rates are increasing. So if you want to lock that sucker in and maybe roll it into first, pull out a little money for home improvements, because thank goodness we have the E word finally.
Yeah, we talk about that, and people have significant equity. We're not going to spend a whole show on this, but I will talk about it for a second, is that if you've been trapped and you've got all this debt and it's been hanging over you for 4 or 5 years and you have no other way out, it might not be a bad time to sell your home, get out from under all that debt, pile all that money into retirement, should you be close to retirement age, and actually have some savings instead of being broke. Just saying.
Or you might have enough equity to roll it into in a refinance and get rid of it. That's right. You go, well, my rate's so good. Well, the rate goes up a little bit, which is say your payment increases, round numbers, a couple $100, but you're paying $900 a month in credit card debt or other debts. Maybe we can roll that in. Take the difference in savings and pay off your home maybe even quicker. There's strategies that you need to look at, and we're really good at it. And we'll put in a total cost analysis. Not a good faith estimate. You go, We'll put it in a total cost analysis, breaks it all out, and we'll let you know if it makes sense.
All right. Well, let's see. Does it make sense, Chris? I know I'm crazy. I just threw that out there, but I've been talking to a lot of people. They have no money for saving, for retirement at all whatsoever. They've got $20,000, $30,000 worth of debt, but they've got $300,000 worth of equity in their house.
Right. So I hate debt. So if you've got high interest credit cards or debt, I think that's a great way to eliminate that debt and get yourself in a better position financially. My disclaimer on the other part that you said is we as financial advisors are not allowed to recommend somebody pull money from their home and then put that into investments. Now, does that mean it's a bad decision? No, it just means that we can't actually tell somebody to go do that, because it's like we're forcing them to go make a financial decision on their house, which is one of their biggest assets, in order for us to get money to invest. And it's just not right. It's kind of a conflict of interest. Right. But at the same time, there's lots of books that have been written. Missed Opportunities is one of them, that talk about home equity that sits there doing absolutely nothing for you, and the ways to pull that equity from your home and put it into other investments or other properties or other things.
Right. Most of the people I'm talking about,
leveraging that money.
You're leveraging that money, of course.
Yeah, I'm talking just about some people that have just been hanging on by a thread for a long time, and they've got this pot of gold they're sitting on. Mm-hmm. And it might be a good time to cash in those chips, because they might be at the end of their earning years. They might not they didn't save anything for retirement. So where else are you going to get a few $100,000 to make sure that you have, and maybe they have to relocate. Maybe they have to quit their job. Maybe they got to move to somewhere cheaper like Oregon or Arizona,
right?
Because living here in Los Angeles is very expensive,
right? And to touch on that, so financial advisors versus stockbrokers, or just the guy
traders
that wants to sell you a mutual fund, or the
life insurance guy that wants to put you in a.
So financial advisor, everything that you just said is what I do when I sit down with a client. Is what are they trying to live off of? What do they have available to them? How do we best utilize the money and assets that they have available to them to work with? And how does it work out over time? And do they need to make adjustments in order to make that work, like moving to Oregon or making a change or downsizing or whatever it may be? Financial advisor, we're not just looking at the investment assets that we're helping you manage. We're looking at the big picture to make sure that we know exactly from point A to point B where you're trying to get, and that you've got everything in place in order to get there, and that you're using what you have available to you to the best of your resources.
All right. And if you're going, who is this very solid, very educated young man that's going to share with us what's going on? This is Chris Ingram of Ingram Financial Solutions, who helps Gino and I with our financial planning, not just with trading stocks. It's financial planning. We feel very confident when we work with you, Chris. We love how calm, cool, and collected you are, how you always educate us, and available to talk to us about our portfolios. You actually meet with us on a regular basis. And we're suggesting that if you don't have these assets, you're just doing 401ks, which is definitely a viable option for you to at least be saving some, but you should align yourself with a financial planner like Chris.
Right.
And Chris, you do a great job. How can they get a hold of you, Chris?
Best way to look me up is go to my website, ingramfinancialsolutions.com. Has all of my information there. And I just want to thank you for calling me a young man, because
You're a lot younger
anymore.
than me.
I just felt good to be called a
take
young
those
man
last
again.
times as you can
Once
get
in
it.
a while, every now and then.
It's funny, I saw David today, and he goes, I used to be a lot younger then. I was like 38. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you how old I was when you guys were pressing my butt into the gym.
Right, exactly.
Because
You
you
know
guys
what?
are all under 40. I'm pressing 50, and I'm like, I want to hear it. You guys are complaining, well, he's 40 and I'm 38. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, everybody complains.
Now he's like, I'm 45 now. I'm like, anyways.
Right.
No, but that's the other thing too. A lot of times when I call Chris, it's conceptual, right? I'm like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this and this and that. And sometimes it's like a 3-part move. I'm going to take money from this. I'm going to refi my car. I'm going to pay off this other thing so that I can do this later. So it's not just about, oh, I want to sell my stock. It's, here's the concept. Is that a good idea?
Right.
And so I think you really helped me with those things more than should I buy or sell a stock. It's really more, because you're right, you do know the end goal. So you want to make sure that I don't do anything disruptive to knock me off course to where the actual end goal is.
Right. And I spoke with a client just the other day. I spoke with her again this morning, and her question for me a couple days ago was, I'm really tired of working. My husband's retiring in the middle of 2019. What if I retire at the end of 2019? What does that do to our retirement projection? And are our investments still in line with being able to keep us, earning the kind of income that we need during our retirement years under that scenario? Because that's early, so they're not going to get Social Security for about 4 years. So what do we do during that gap until we get Social Security, and where do we go from there? And so I go to my Excel spreadsheet and I start punching in all these numbers, and I come back to her and I say, looks good, retire at the end of 2019 if you want to. And so again, going back to conceptually, yes, I'm managing the account that has the assets in it to make sure that it does what it's supposed to do, but I'm so much more than that to her. I'm the sounding board of, these are the things we're thinking about changing. What does that do to our picture, and should I do it or should I not do it? And that could be from retiring early to buying an RV to moving to a different state to investing money for our kids' college education or our grandkids' college education. So it's trying to put all the pieces together. That's a financial planner for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, we just went through it on my situation where I'm like, okay, I want to pull this money out, but I don't want capital gains. And you're like, well, you can use your IRA, and you got 60 days for this as long as it's paid back. And I'm like, oh, so there's avenues, and it's nice to know what your avenues are and your options and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw one little caveat there, because every time we have the opportunity to move 401k dollars to IRA dollars, it's been a good decision for us. I'm not saying that's a good decision for everybody, but you move from an account that really you have no personal relationship with the person that's managing it to somewhere where you have accountability and a personal relationship and someone who's got a plan for you and someone that cares about you, right? Because at the end of the day, if I call whoever it is at Mass Mutual, that's a 1-800 phone number that I call, and I get a different person every time.
Right.
I know when I call Chris, he knows my family, he knows my kids, he knows our business, he's intimate with what we got going on, and the reality of what I do. So when I get answers, I feel like I get real answers, not,
Right.
well, it says here on page 32 that you can do that.
The other thing I like too
Right.
is when it went from you, because I'm rolling on another one to you, and
Yep.
I can't wait.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
I cannot wait
Yeah.
because now I'm engaged.
Right.
When it was with my 401k, nothing against them, not saying they did bad, but I know what's going on. I get my monthly statements, and you've crushed it.
I was
There's
gonna
no
say,
doubt. If I was to
I-
compare the two, there's not even a comparison
Not even
of
close.
the returns and the engagement and the ability to, hey, Don, I think we should move this around, or I can bounce like
The
he does.
liquidity alone.
Hey, what about? I'm thinking about, can we put money in the stock? What do you think? Yeah, I like that one, or nah. The engagement gets me more involved in wanting to put more in,
Right.
as opposed to just being this dark chasm over there that someday, hopefully, I may have something there.
Right.
I love being engaged with you, and it involves and wants me to put more in there. I want to tap out my 401k, and every time I can roll it into it, I'm going to.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was something I thought we'd bring up, because people don't know that they have the opportunity to do that when they change employers sometimes. Or
Yeah, they just roll it back in the
or
next
the
one.
worst thing they could do is let it sit in the old employer's 401k where nobody cares about it.
Right. Well, and going on that, it also helps to have a financial advisor that is honest and trustworthy, because sometimes it doesn't make sense to take the money from the 401k. There may be a reason where you need to get to your money before you're 60, and so you can get to money early out of a 401k, or there may be a loan issue that you're going to need to take a loan, that you need the 401k versus the IRA. So somebody that's going to be able to walk you through all of that and make sure it makes sense for you. And if all of it makes sense, like it has for you guys, then yes, let's get it over. Let's get it into whatever investments we want to put it into, and not be tied to the 15 mutual funds that they gave you in the 401k.
No, you need him to roll it over so he doesn't take loans out on it. He'll leverage it any way he possibly can.
I sometimes trap myself so that I can't. I need some
Which
lack
you should,
of liquidity.
right?
Yeah. All right. Thank you again, Chris. Again,
You're
how
welcome.
can all of you out there, hopefully you really enjoyed Chris Ingram. He's been on our show dozens of times, and you always add great value. You've taken great care of us, a good friend. So how can they get a hold of you, Chris?
Yeah, look me up on ingramfinancialsolutions.com. That's my website, has all of my contact information on there. And first consultation is free. So if you have questions, you don't know if working with a financial advisor is right for you. I have some people say, I don't think I have enough to work with a financial advisor. Don't worry about that. Give me a call. Let me know what your situation looks like. I can let you know what we're able to do for you, and if it's a good fit, and then you can decide where to go from there.
Always great information. Thank you again, Chris. And we
You're
thank
welcome.
you for joining us every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. You can find out more at donandgino.com or hometownstation.com. Have a great weekend, and thank you for being part of our show.